Right, let's unpack this. Today we're embarking on a deep dive into a place that really truly embodies its spirit, Rajasthan.
Ah, Rajasthan.
Yeah.
Often called the land of kings, isn't it? Or Rajputana.
Exactly. And this deep dive, it's custom tailored. We're pulling insights from this really rich stack of sources you've provided. Our mission basically is to cut through the noise, find the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight.
Sort of a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed about this incredible Indian state.
Precisely, so you can quickly get up to speed.
Yeah, and when you think of Rajasthan, the images are just so immediate, aren't they? You picture those forts just rising out of the desert.
Yeah.
The palaces reflecting centuries of, royal legacy.
Oh, absolutely. And the folk traditions, still so vibrant, the colors.
It's a place where history isn't just in books. It feels alive, like it breathes.
Right. It's this mosaic of heroic tales, these vast desert landscapes, but also breathtaking architecture and this really deep-rooted cultural heritage. So we'll be touching on quite a bit. Its ancient history, the unique geography.
The culture, the food, which is amazing.
Wow, yeah, the food. And even its modern side, the challenges, the economy today.
So,
Yeah.
get ready. Rajasthan is quite something to unfold.
So let's start with that title, The Land of Kings. It's such a powerful name. Why Rajasthan? Why that specific grand title?
Well, it goes way back. It rooted deep in its past, you see. Historically, Rajasthan wasn't one single entity. It was a collection of numerous princely states and kingdoms. And almost all of them were ruled by these powerful Rajput clans.
Right, the Rajputs.
And these weren't just, ceremonial kings. They were warrior kings. Legendary figures, really, known for unwavering bravery, fierce loyalty, and this profound sense of honor. Their legacy, that whole spirit of valor and resilience, it truly defines the state's core identity even today.
Okay, so that explains the king's part. Now, geographically, where exactly are we? My mind instantly goes to desert when I hear Rajasthan. Is that fair or too simple?
It's definitely the dominant feature. You're right about that. The Thar Desert, the Great Indian Desert, covers a huge chunk of the state. It's in India's northwestern part, sharing a big border with Pakistan to the west, and then bordering states like Punjab, Haryana, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat.
So mostly desert then?
Mostly, yes. But here's what's fascinating. Despite that arid reputation, Rajasthan has this surprising ecological diversity. It's not just endless sand. You've got hilly regions, part of the ancient Air Valley Range running through it.
Hills? Okay, didn't picture that.
Yeah, and significant salt lakes too, like Samphar, which is huge, plus thriving wildlife sanctuaries. So it's a land of really striking contrasts.
That surprising diversity, it actually leads us nicely into its history, doesn't it? The sources paint such a vivid picture of that Rajput valor you mentioned.
Absolutely. Their history is just woven with these incredible stories of bravery, loyalty, and this code of honor that often seem to trump everything else. We're talking about powerful clans, the Sisotis of Mewar, the Raitors of Marwar, the Kachwahas of Jaipur, names that echo through history.
And they weren't just ruling in peaceful times, I imagine. They faced some serious threats. Defending a desert kingdom must have been tough.
Oh, absolutely. They certainly did. These warrior kings were often on the front lines, defending their lands against powerful invaders.
Yeah.
Think the Delhi Sultanate, the Mughals, major powers. And the historical accounts often highlight this really powerful cultural idea, choosing death over dishonor.
Wow. That's intense.
It was. It wasn't just a saying. It was like a strategic and spiritual commitment. It really fueled their resistance for centuries.
And some of the individuals, they've become almost the legendary figures, haven't they? More than just historical names.
Exactly. You hear tales of Maharana Pratap, famous for his relentless fight against the Mughals, just wouldn't give up. Or Padmini Chittorgarh, symbol of honor and sacrifice, choosing Jauhar's self-immolation over capture. And figures like Amar Singh Rathore, celebrated for his bravery. These stories are deeply ingrained in folklore, passed down generation after generation. It's their struggles, their resilience, that ultimately led to the region being called Rajputana under the British.
Ah, so that's where Rajputana comes in.
Yes. And then, after India's independence in 1947, these princely states eventually unified into the modern state of Rajasthan in 1949. Shows that continuous thread of adaptation, really.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit then. From that grand history to the incredible cities that came out of this legacy, Jaipur, the capital. Why the Pink City? What's the story there?
Jaipur. Well, it literally earned its nickname from its buildings. The whole old city was painted this distinctive terracotta pink back in 1876.
Why pink?
It was to welcome Prince Albert, the Prince of Wales at the time. Pink symbolized hospitality. And amazingly, they've kept that tradition going ever since.
That's dedication.
It is. And Jaipur isn't just beautiful, it's historically significant too. One of India's first planned cities, built back in the 18th century by Maharaja Jai Singh II. Very forward-thinking, with a grid plan.
Impressive. And what should you see there?
Oh, there's loads. Vibrant bazaars, obviously. But the architecture, Amber Fort just outside the city is stunning. Then there's Hawa Mahal, the Palace of Winds, that iconic facade, the City Palace complex, still partly a royal residence, and Jantar Mantar, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's this ancient astronomical observatory full of huge instruments. Really fascinating.
Sounds incredible. Then there's Udaipur. People call it the Venice of the East. Sounds very romantic.
It really lives up to that reputation. Udaipur is famous for its lakes, Lake Pichola being the main one, and these magnificent palaces that seem to almost float on the water. It definitely has a very romantic setting. Must-visits include the massive City Palace complex overlooking the lake, Jagmandir, which is an island palace.
An island palace?
Yeah, and Sihilionki Bari, the Garden of the Maidens. It's just incredibly picturesque.
Okay, moving on to Jodhpur, the Blue City. What's the deal with the blue houses there?
Jodhpur is dominated by Mehrangarh Fort. It's absolutely massive, looms over the city. And from up there, you can really see why it gets the name Blue City. So many of the houses in the old town are painted this vibrant indigo blue.
Is there a reason for the blue?
Traditionally, blue was associated with the Brahmins, India's priestly caste. But people also say it helps keep the houses cool in the desert heat and maybe even repels insects.
Spectacle to them.
Possibly. And Jodhpur is also a great starting point for desert safaris out into the Thar.
Right. And speaking of deep in the desert, Jaisalmer, the Golden City. That sounds unique.
Jaisalmer is really special. Its architecture is almost entirely built from this beautiful golden sandstone. The centerpiece is Jaisalmer Fort, which isn't just a monument, it's a living fort. People still live and work inside its walls, about a quarter of the city's population.
Wow, a living fort.
Yeah. It seems to rise right out of the desert, and it just glows, especially at sunset. Being so deep in the Thar, it's the place for those iconic camel rides and desert camping under the stars. A real taste of desert life.
And Bikaner, the Camel City, that's a very specific nickname.
It is. Bikaner is famous for its camel breeding farms. Camels were historically crucial for transport and warfare in the region, so these farms were very important. It also has the impressive Junagarh Fort, notable because it was apparently never captured.
Never captured. Impressive.
And food-wise, Bikaner is the birthplace of Bikaneri Bhujia, that world-famous crispy, savory snack. You find it everywhere in India now.
Ah, yes. Okay, and finally, Mount Abu. A hill station in Rajasthan. That seems like an outlier.
It is. It's Rajasthan's only hill station nestled up in the Aravalli Hills. So yeah, it offers a really welcome break from the desert heat, especially in summer. Cool weather, greenery.
And what's the main draw there?
Besides the cooler climate, it's home to the magnificent Dwara Jain temples. They are absolute masterpieces of intricate marble carving. The detail is just mind-blowing.
These cities definitely paint this picture of royal splendor and unique character. But the real heart of Rajasthan, I guess, it must be in its culture and traditions, right?
Oh, absolutely. The sources describe it as incredibly colorful, expressive, deeply spiritual. And you really see that.
How does that show up in, like, everyday life?
Well, you see it immediately in the traditional clothes. Men often wear these vibrant turbans. The style can even tell you their region or clan and dotis. Women wear gagras, these long skirts and adins, the veils, often brightly colored and decorated with intricate mirrorwork.
Visually stunning, I bet.
Totally. And then there's the music and dance. That's really the soul of Rajasthan. It's such a powerful expression of their heritage and joy.
I've heard of dances like Ghumar. They look amazing.
Yes. Ghumar is this incredibly graceful dance performed by women. Lots of swirling skirts. And Kobiliya, the dance of the snake charmer community, is mesmerizing, very fluid and energetic. The music often features traditional instruments like the sarangi, which is a string instrument, the attire, a single-stringed instrument, and the dolak drum. It gives it that very distinctive, evocative sound.
And it's not just music and dance, right? There are stories, too.
Yes, the oral traditions are incredibly strong. Folk tales, like the epic love story of Dolamaru or the tales of the folk hero Pabuji, are often sung or narrated, passed down through generations. It keeps history and wisdom alive.
And the festivals, they sound massive.
They really are. Rajasthan celebrates numerous festivals with huge grandeur. They're often tied to seasons or deities or historical events. You have the Desert Festival in Jaisalmer, showcasing desert culture. Teas and Gangar in Jaipur, celebrating the monsoon and marital bliss. And then there's the Pushkar Camel Fair, which is just this incredible spectacle. It's India's largest cattle fair, but also a massive cultural gathering and pilgrimage site.
Wow, so these festivals are really central to the culture.
Absolutely. They're not just holidays. They are vibrant expressions of their deep-rooted cultural spirit and their strong community bonds.
Okay, from vibrant culture to vibrant cuisine, you mentioned the food is amazing, and also how it adapted to the desert. That's fascinating.
Yeah, the desert environment fundamentally shaped the food. Think about it, water scarcity, limited fresh vegetables for much of the year. So they developed these really ingenious cooking techniques and relied on ingredients that could last. Things like dried lentils, beans, gram flour, millet.
So practicality led to the flavor.
Exactly. It wasn't just about survival. It became a culinary philosophy. Minimal water usage, long shelf life for ingredients, preserving foods. It led to these rich, often spicy, and incredibly satisfying dishes. It's kind of a masterclass in sustainable cooking, born from necessity.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so what are the absolute must-try signature dishes that show this adaptation?
Right. Well, the undisputed king is probably dal baati churma.
Dal baati churma. Okay.
Yeah, it's a trio. You have baati, which are these hard-baked wheat bowls, traditionally baked in embers, needing very little water. Then dal, a spicy lentil curry. And churma, a sweet, crumbled wheat dessert, often laced with ghee.
Sounds hearty.
It is.
Yeah.
Then there's gatte sabzi dumplings made from gram flour, which stores really well, simmered in a tangy, yogurt-based curry. And for something uniquely Rajasthani, kher sangri. It's made from dried wild berries, curry, and beans, sangri, that actually grow wild in the desert. Shows how they used everything the land offered.
Wow, using wild desert plants.
Exactly. And for the non-vegetarians, laal maas is iconic. It's a fiery red mutton curry, traditionally made very spicy with dried red chilies again. Drying helps preservation.
Okay, my mouth is watering now. What about sweets? Any desert adaptations there?
Maybe less about adaptation, but they certainly reflect the richness. Giwar is a classic, especially during festivals like Tej. It's this disc-shaped, porous sweet made from flour and soaked in syrup. Then there's mawa kachori, a rich pastry filled with mawa, milk solids and nuts, and rabri, which is basically thickened, sweetened milk, often flavored with cardamom and saffron. Delicious.
Right, sounds like a feast.
Oh.
Now, shifting gears slightly beyond the cities and culture, Rajasthan also has surprising wildlife, you mentioned, despite the desert image.
Yeah, it's true. Despite the generally dry climate, it supports diverse wildlife and has some really important protected areas. Ranthambore National Park is probably the most famous. It's one of the best places in India to see Bengal tigers in the wild. The safari experiences there are incredible.
Tigers in Rajasthan. Okay.
Yep. And Sariska Tiger Reserve is another important tiger habitat. Then you have Keeladeo Ghana National Park, formerly Jodhpur Bird Sanctuary. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a crucial wintering ground for thousands of migratory birds, including the rare Siberian crane. Historically, it's an amazing wetland oasis.
A wetland oasis in Rajasthan. That really drives home the contrast.
It does. And those lakes we mentioned earlier, like Samvar Salt Lake, India's largest inland salt lake, aren't just scenery. They're vital ecosystems for specific birds and other life. And Pushkar Lake, besides being sacred, also supports local biodiversity. So nature and culture are often intertwined.
And this rich culture extends to arts and crafts too, right? It sounds like a shopper's paradise.
Oh, absolutely. It's renowned for its traditional handicrafts, skills passed down through generations, often nurtured by centuries of royal patronage.
What kind of things should we look for?
Well, textiles are huge. You've got beautiful block printing, especially from places like Sanganer and Bagru, known for their intricate patterns and natural dyes. Bandhani, the traditional tie-dye technique, creates stunning patterns on fabrics, often used for saris and turbans.
I think I've seen that tie-dye. Very intricate.
It is. Then there's the unique blue pottery of Jaipur, with its distinctive cobalt blue and turquoise colors, often used for tiles and decorative items. It doesn't use clay, interestingly, but ground quartz.
Really? Quartz pottery.
Yeah. You also find beautiful leatherwork, especially jutis, the traditional embroidered footwear, exquisite manikari and enamel work on jewelry, and the miniature paintings. The Kishangar and Nior schools are famous for their detailed, delicate paintings depicting court life, mythology, epic scenes.
So much artistry.
Oh, And woodwork, stone carving, especially in marble, and the famous Rajasthani puppets, Kathputli. They're so lively and colorful. It really is a treasure trove for art lovers.
Okay, let's bring this into the present day. What does modern Rajasthan look like? What drives its economy now, balancing this incredible heritage with, the 21st century?
It's a mix, really. The economy rests on several pillars. Tourism is massive, obviously. Both domestic and international visitors flock to see the forts, palaces, and experience the culture.
Understandable.
Mining is also very significant. Rajasthan is a major producer of marble, gypsum, zinc, lead, rock phosphate, lots of mineral wealth. Agriculture is still important, despite the arid conditions. They grow crops like wheat, bajra, pearl millet, mustard, pulses again, showing that adaptation.
And what about future potential?
Solar energy. That's huge potential. With all that sunshine and desert land, Rajasthan is becoming a major hub for solar power generation in India. It's a key area for future growth and sustainability. And of course, the handicrafts and textile sectors remain vital, linking the economy directly back to its cultural heritage.
So it sounds quite dynamic. How's the infrastructure keeping up? Roads, connectivity?
It's generally pretty good, especially connecting the major cities and tourist centers. There's a decent network of national highways, railways are extensive, and cities like Jaipur, Udaipur, and Jodhpur have busy airports. That really helps both tourism and trade.
And education. Is that developing too?
Yes, there's been progress. Rajasthan hosts some prestigious institutions, IIT Jodhpur, IIM Udaipur, Bete Pilani, the University of Rajasthan, and Jaipur. These are top-tier places. But there's also a big focus and need for improving education in rural areas, and particularly boosting girls' education, which has historically lagged behind in some communities. It's an ongoing effort.
It sounds like a place with immense potential, but also inevitably facing some big challenges. What are the most pressing issues for Rajasthan today?
It really is a land of contrasts, and yes, the challenges are significant. Water scarcity is probably the most fundamental and persistent issue. Recurring droughts impact agriculture, livelihoods, daily life. It's a constant struggle shaped by its geography.
Desert reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's gender inequality, which remains a concern, especially in more remote rural areas, although awareness and initiatives are growing. There's also that constant tension. How do you preserve this incredibly rich heritage, these ancient forts and palaces, while also managing urbanization and the need for modern infrastructure? It's a delicate balancing act.
Development versus preservation.
Right. And linked to that are the threats from desertification and the broader impacts of climate change, which could reshape the landscape further. Plus, ensuring adequate healthcare access, especially in far-flung villages, is another ongoing challenge. But, facing challenges is part of Rajasthan's history. It's a testament to their enduring spirit that they navigate these complexities while holding on to that vibrant identity.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it's crystal clear that Rajasthan is so much more than just, forts and sand. It's this living story of adaptation.
It truly is. It feels like a living museum of royal India, yes, but also a cradle of courage, resilience, an incredible showcase of cultural wealth and traditions that feel timeless. You walk through the golden sands of Jaisalmer, or you gaze across Lake Pachola in Udaipur, or even just hear those folk songs on the wind. It leaves a mark.
Yeah, a lasting impression.
Definitely. It's a place where history feels incredibly present, where colors mean something, where every palace, every corner seems to hold a story.
A testament to endurance, really, and vibrant life against the odds. So, talking about all this, Rajasthan's incredible history of resilience, of adapting to this really challenging desert environment. What lessons do you think its enduring traditions and vibrant culture might hold for us, for navigating complexity in our own lives today?